Hi, it's Tony with lidl.doodle. Thanks for stopping by the channel. In today's video, I am going to share 10 easy weekly bullet journal setups. This idea came from discussions with friends and colleagues and my husband about how people get so intimidated by bullet journaling, and it makes sense. You pull up Pinterest and you type in bullet journal and you see these like amazing works of art. And if you're familiar with Ryder Carroll and his bullet journal method book or his original design for the bullet journal, it does not look much like what people are putting out there on Pinterest. And I will link a short video that Ryder just put out about 5-minute bullet journaling every day. And you will see just his minimalist approach. And I just think we need to understand and accept that bullet journaling does not have to be this huge piece of artwork every week or every day or every month, and it really is just what you want to make of it. So I'm just going to show you 10 quick, easy layouts that you can do for your weeks. This first one, it's these 2 pens, and for my black pen I used just my gel pen. What I found when I put my mild liner down and then I wrote over it with my fountain pen, the ink was a little too thick, so it kind of bled. It's okay. I'm not worried about that. I don't have to be perfect. So I have my week just laid out here. I have my to-do list and my weekly recap that maybe I want to journal a couple sentences or how were things going this week. And then I have just this tiny little tracker over here where I just put the days of the week and 4 things to track. What I find is, and maybe, for some people it's great to track 12 things a week. I can't do it. I can't keep up with it. So I generally, if I'm going to do some kind of weekly tracking, I will only track like 4 things, 3 things. And literally, I don't even have to use the fountain pen. I don't have to draw the box with the mild liner. You can just section off your days. And in these spots, I will write down my appointments and I'll cross them off when I'm done. I'll write out my to-do list, any notes that I need to take. I have space over here, and it's a real basic layout. The next layout that I did, a little more vertical, so I gave myself a little bit more space in the boxes. These will be for my appointments. And then I just put small boxes for each day with my to-do list. So let's say I have 5 things on Monday's to-do list. Whatever I don't get done on Monday, I will migrate to Tuesday. So unless I have a standing to-do on a specific day, I will leave these boxes empty so that I can do what Ryder Carroll calls migrating. I set up a tracker a little bit bigger over here. And again, I just picked 4 things to track. And then I just put a Stoic quote that I like, just as a reminder for that week. I love Stoicism and studying that and keeping those quotes top of mind. And so if I have extra space, I will put a Stoic quote. For this page, I used, again, my mild liner, my inexpensive TWSBI swipe, and my gel pen. 3 pens. And again, you don't have to, put a fancy box around a quote or anything. It can just be very simple. For the next page, I did a 1-page week. So whereas the other 2 layouts, I put my week on the 2-page spread, I did just a 1-page over here with my days of the week, and I'll just put my appointments over here. I gave myself a nice box for a to-do list. I gave myself a box for notes. I did pretty much the same tracker as I did the week before. And then I put a space for Monday through Thursday dinners. So if you're busy, if you're a meal planner, I know it helps me if I know I have a busy week to say, okay, Monday we're going to have halibut and asparagus, and Tuesday we're going to have XYZ. That way when I come home, I'm not digging through the fridge to decide what we're going to have for dinner that night. I've just mapped it out. And if it changes, throughout the week, it's really not a big deal. The next page, I put a little more color into, and I just did boxes for each day and a to-do list. I am not tracking anything on this spread. I just wanted to use a couple of my Tombos, and again with my little gel pen here, and then for the days of the week I used my Tombow Feud pen, which is just a small brush pen. And I actually had made a mistake on here and then decided to just incorporate the mistake, because that's what I do. And that's where these lines came from. And you can see they're not straight. I didn't use a ruler. I don't get real particular. I have, over time, just kind of let go that, oh, my lines have to be perfectly in the box, or they have to be straight. Sometimes I miscount, and, if it's really bad, I'll just turn the page and start over. One thing I recommend doing at the beginning of every journal, especially if you have a dotted journal, is count how many down, how many across. Write it somewhere in the back, because I'm not kidding you. I check this 5 times every time I'm doing a layout, because it doesn't stick in my brain. And so I'll do the math. If I want 2 boxes down, okay, how many down again? 38. Okay, how do I want to divide that? So it's always helpful to count out your grid, count out your dots, count out your lines. The next spread I did, again, just a one-sided or one-paged week. I created 2 boxes over here, one for appointments and one for a to-do list. And again, I will migrate things throughout the week. My habit tracker, I added a couple of more things just so you could see what that might look like. And I'll just put X's or dots or something in the boxes when I complete those each day. And then I gave myself a space to journal, just a quick recap. For this, just a couple of Tombos and my Feud pen and my handy gel pen. So nothing too advanced. And again, you could do this just with a ballpoint pen if that's all you had. You don't have to have the fancy supplies, and you don't have to be intimidated by bullet journaling. I think, writer Carol set out this great system, and organically it has just turned into, this place where people just pour their creativity and art into. And I don't know if that was I don't know, how he feels about that, obviously. But I think he's okay with it. It's what works for the individual. And about 5 years ago, I wrote an article for the Bullet Journal website. And one of the things that writer asked me to do was make sure I included some of the staples of bullet journaling. So like rapid logging and future logging and migration, things like that. And so I tried those out in my own bullet journal before I polished up the article for him. And some of those things have stuck and some of them haven't. And I think that's okay. And, if you pull up Pinterest for inspiration and you're just so overwhelmed, take a step back and just think what's going to work for you. What are your needs? I look at Pinterest and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But I just do what works for me, and what, if I want to pour my art into it, I do. But it doesn't even mean that it's even half the quality of some of the things I see on Pinterest. So anyway, enough of that. All right, so the next spread, I just used a Tombow. I did put down a little watercolor wash in the areas that ended up being blank, and it's like a shimmery sparkle kind of watercolor. So it's just a light wash. It's not necessary, right? It's just for fun. And then I did a 2-day spread and just a to-do list. I didn't leave myself any space to track because maybe this week I'm just not going to track anything. If I did want to track, I would just copy this box down here and just do a tracker, right? And again, just my Tombow for the color and a little bit of watercolor. The next spread, just a real basic long vertical. It can be whatever I want it to be. It can be my appointments. It can be me just going throughout my day. I did dedicate just a little spot at the bottom for some to-do check-offs because it's really satisfying to have a little box and be able to put an X through that box. And just with my Tombows, I just doodled, some dorky little flowers around the sides, right? Not even necessary. I do think I used a little ruler for these just because I was drawing a longer line. I have a 6-inch ruler that I carry with me that is really useful for weekly spreads. The next spread, real basic, my Tombow and my Feud pen. And I just used the gel pen. I split each page down the middle and just left myself space for appointments, jotting down notes, anything I want, and a to-do. Absolutely nothing fancy, but it will do the job for me if, that's what I want for that week. And it's a real basic spread. This is probably the most involved spread. So I did just a one-sided for appointments. So there's my days of the week. These will be my appointments. I left myself a nice big spot for notes, things that I just might need to jot down as I'm going through the day. A space if I need to remember something for work or jot something down to do, or a memory or something I just want to think about. So work, personal, and then a to-do list, and then reflections at the end of the week. So real basic, just 4 things that, I think apply to me that I will want to record. So those are the 9 spreads. And then I'm going to show you the 10th spread is one that I have been using very regularly in this bullet journal, my current bullet journal. And I don't know if I'm just digging it because it's easy or I like the aesthetic of it. But basically on the left side, I'm writing the days, like what week it is, and then I'm just putting the days. And these are my appointments. And then I do a doodle here. And then on this side, I do a week reflection or a to-do list. I can show you. So this one, I just picked different colors. I put in a few stickers, did a to-do list. This was a few things I needed to remember for my national board renewal. These were a couple names of people I wanted to check out on Instagram. The next week, same thing. I didn't even end up using this whole side of the page, but I just put some stickers on there and a to-do, and didn't need this whole page, but I'm okay with that. But I've just found myself week after week, I think since early April, I just keep going back to this spread. I feel like this page just gives me the freedom to jot down. I like to think about my bullet journal as where I would put all of my sticky notes. So if you're a person who you write a lot of sticky notes and you've got sticky notes all over your desk, like I still have sticky notes on my desk, but I will put those notes into this page on my bullet journal as kind of just that way it's in one place and I don't lose it. Here was another week. Again, just the appointments on the side to do, some inks that I'm wanting to look at, some food prepping, and then was this last week? This was last week to do. I always put my bills on a sticky note and then fold it over, just so it really stands out. And then I can just kind of check it as I go, and I move it through every week, just so I'm staying on top and I don't forget like a bill that's due in the middle of the month. And then this is this week, just getting started. I've got my June bills written out here already, a couple of to-dos, and my days of the week. So what I do when I'm getting set up, so you can maybe see if the pencil will show up, is I just go through and I pencil in guidelines for how many across and how many down. And so that way when I go to set up my week, it's super fast. I just normally will grab a Tombow and just box those out, or a mild liner, and then do a little watercolor, wait for that to dry, get everything else set up, put in my stickers if I'm gonna use stickers, and then just go for it. So anyway, so there are 10 different easy ways that you can set up a weekly in your bullet journal. And I just hope that if you are just getting started out, or you are at a place where you're feeling intimidated, or overwhelmed, that you can just take a step back, do something simple, minimal, because I just think that the system can be so beneficial for our mental health. And I truly believe in journaling and bullet journaling and all of the freedom and the fun that you can discover with this. So, okay, so for a pen spotlight, I've got my Pelikan M200, and this is the tortoiseshell. It's got a gold nib. I think it's 14 karat gold. This is in a medium. And I had been looking at this pen for quite some time because I just absolutely am obsessed with this in green. So I finally ordered it, I don't know, 6 months ago. I think I ordered it from somewhere in England, maybe Colt Pens, I can't remember. And when it got here, it was a lot smaller than I expected and a lot lighter than I expected. And it's really plasticky, and I was kind of surprised at that. But in spite of it being those things, I don't mind that it's small. I've got pretty small hands. I don't post my pens. I'm okay with that. It writes like a dream. I love this pen. I have it filled with Diamine Olive Swirl, and that was from last year's Inkvent calendar. So I only have a teeny tiny little bottle of it, but I will be getting the bigger bottle when Diamine releases those. So this actually writes like probably like a Broadwood. And this was my first Pelikan, so I don't even know much about the brand. I just know that people do love it. My husband has one, he loves it. It was just like, I don't know, the tortoiseshell, I just had to have it, and I was not disappointed. So once this dries, it's got a beautiful green shimmer to it. And so it's this olive green with some green shimmer. I'm not sure if it's dry enough yet for it really to show, but it's great. I just really, really enjoy this pen. So, okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you maybe can take away something to feel inspired. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments, or if there's a different kind of page that you would like me to show or highlight, or show you different types of dailies. I don't really use dailies, but I would be happy to do a video on something that you're interested in or want to try to consider. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great day.